by pushing for less spending, taxes and regulations, and key reforms to safety net programs like Social Security and Medicare to help make them solvent, the American dream can be live again and well. If not, it's going to keep getting worse again before it gets better. Hello. Welcome to this week's economy. This is episode 73. I'm your host, Dr. Vance Ginn. Thank you for joining me again today. We have a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to discuss the possibility of a recession, the COPA Act up in D.C., Chevron moves to Texas, Trump not taxing Social Security income, Harris's connection with big tech donations, and much more. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and share with your friends and family. That would be a huge benefit to me. So let's jump right into it. Number one, boom and bust economy. And the news says that the last week has been a whirlwind for the global and domestic economies, with the S&P 500 losing 3% just on Monday and down 8.5% since July 15, while moving back a little bit up here since then. My take is time asset bubbles correct from government failures across the globe. Unfortunately, this outcome was avoidable with less government spending by Congress and less money printing by the Federal Reserve, along with what other legislators and central banks are doing across the globe. Some of us have been saying this for years, and I won't stop. I think we've got to talk about this more. But Congress or Fed will unlikely listen. It will get worse before it gets better. We need less government, not more, to revive the economy, to have more money in your pockets. And the Fed shouldn't cut its target interest rate like some people are talking about right now, with elevated inflation still all around us. And there still needs to be time for healing. We don't need to continue to prop up a fragile economy. Unfortunately, that means it's got to bust. But I think we've got to bust before we can improve for the future. We've got to learn about the boom bust cycles. One of the things that the Austrian School of Economics has been key in helping us understand. Number two, tech rule to protect kids. In the news, the Senate passed two online safety bills recently for children called Kids Online Safety Act, which is KOSA, and the Children and Teens Online Privacy Protection Act, COPA 2.0. My take, while it's laudable to improve children's privacy and safety, these bills fail to achieve their goals and would cause greater risk to youth in today's digital age. Parents know best for their kids. Amen. Not politicians, bureaucrats, CEOs, or anyone else. Sure, many parents don't make the quote-unquote correct choices every time, as I make many mistakes with my kids, but the government's one-size-fits-none policies will worsen the situation. By imposing burdensome restrictions on online platforms, we risk hindering the development of new technologies and services that could benefit families. A better policy approach, or approach in general, provides information and fosters competition in the marketplace, allowing consumers to choose the platforms that best align with their values and preferences. Let's really make sure that we understand this really well before we start jumping in with more government policies restrictions. That's not typically a good way to go at all. And unfortunately, a lot of conservatives, quote unquote conservatives, are thinking that we should, just goes against classical liberalism. Number three, Chevron moves to Texas. In the news, Chevron has announced that it will move its headquarters from California to Texas, like many others have already been doing. This is after years of being at odds with regulators over fossil fuels and climate change. My take, Texas remains a magnet for people and businesses, attracting more newcomers than most states, including the headquarters of now Chevron. To sustain this influx and support a growing economy, we must consider the infrastructure needed to meet expanding energy demands and transportation needs and other things in Texas. This comes on the heels of Elon Musk claiming that he'll move the X and SpaceX headquarters to Texas from California as well. By championing policies that reduce government involvement and promote market activity, Texas can strengthen its infrastructure to support its growing population and sustain its status as a beacon of prosperity and freedom. That's what it needs to do more of. Number four, Trump to cut income taxes on Social Security. In the news, Trump has proposed to eliminate taxes on Social Security income. This could be a popular campaign point as poverty among seniors is on the rise. My take, this proposal, like eliminating taxes on tips, is another targeted tax breaks that only benefits a segment of the American population that's dealing with politics and not sound policy. Trump is correct to consider different taxes to eliminate. Instead, he should consider broadening the tax base so that everyone pays the government spending by eliminating many federal tax deductions, exemptions, and credits, and lowering and flattening tax rates. By pushing for less spending, taxes and regulations, and key reforms to safety net programs like Social Security and Medicare, to help make them solvent, the American dream can be live again and well. If not, it's going to keep getting worse again before it gets better. Number 5, Harris attracts big tech donors. In the news, while many big tech leaders rally to support Kamala Harris for president, she has already revealed that she will not go easy in regulating big tech. She was key in creating rules around AI under the Biden administration, which go too far in my view. My take, AI is a transformative technology that has the potential to revolutionize various industries from healthcare to finance and beyond in all of our lives. In a free market, competition drives innovation and efficiency, benefiting consumers and businesses. Restricting AI through excessive regulations and government oversight threatens this dynamic. America's federal antitrust laws have been used in the consumer welfare standard for over a half a century. Still, Harris and others across the political spectrum want to change that, hurting consumers and producers, as we saw with Google this week as well. This would double down on the Biden administration's onslaught on competition through flawed antitrust efforts. That's especially true for quote-unquote big tech companies that generate substantial consumer welfare and billions of dollars in a competitive economic situation. Number 6, FDIC stance on index fund investing criticized. In the news, criticism has emerged over the FDIC's position on index fund investing, arguing that it undermines sensible investment strategies. My take, the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's intervention in investment practices exemplifies unnecessary regulatory overreach that disrupts market efficiency and undermines the fundamental principles of a free market economy where individuals have the autonomy to make their investment decisions. Investors should have the freedom to choose index funds without governmental interference. This would ensure a competitive and dynamic market that encourages innovation and offers a wide range of investments options to suit different risk appetites and financial goals. Market-based solutions and consumer choice are crucial for fostering a healthy investment environment that promotes economic growth, individual liberty, and financial independence while reducing the risk of government-imposed distortions that can lead to inefficiencies and reduce return for investors just like it's doing today. Right? In media and other hits of mine, I published pieces given quotes or completed interviews this week at the Rich Valdez Show, the Mackinac Center, the OCPA, TPRI, Texas Policy Research Institute, Texas Fiscal Responsibility, KTRH News, and more. And don't miss my interview on NTD News about the economy and what's going on there, along with one about consumer debt, which is soaring right now. On the Let People Prosper Show, don't miss my latest episode this past Tuesday of episode 108 of the Let People Prosper Show to understand how removing government obstacles in the healthcare system can improve patient care with Dr. Dean Waldman. Don't miss that episode. This upcoming Tuesday's episode 109 of the Let People Prosper Show is a great discussion with Randy Hicks, who's president of the Georgia Center for Opportunity, on how to overcome poverty through community-based solutions rather than top-down government policies. You don't want to miss that one. It really is a great discussion. The quote of the week is by Milton Friedman. You guessed it. Quote, "Nothing is so permanent as a temporary government program." The Bible verse of the week is Matthew 19:26. With God, all things are possible. Thank you again for joining me in episode 73 of This Week's Economy. For more insights, visit VanceGinn.com or get a paid subscription to my Substack newsletter at VanceGinn.substack.com today so you receive these highlights in your inbox and much more. With all that said, God bless you and let people prosper.